Happy Tuesday. Yay, it's day 2 of our workshop. I'm just going to give StreamYard a few moments to pop up on Facebook and to be live on your page as well. So I'm just going to make sure we are live. So often it helps to refresh. So let me just see. Yes, it looks like we're live. So just giving you a few moments to get settled into our workshop space here on day 2 of our workshop, The Entrepreneur. Hello, my dear. Yay, you have arrived. It's so nice to welcome you this morning to day 2 of our beautiful space. And we're just giving people a few moments to find us. So do add your hearts and your fires and your comments. So I just can feel that passionate. Hey, Della, good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's great that you are adding your names as well. So I can see, because here on StreamYard, if you haven't accepted StreamYard to see your name, I would just see Facebook use on my side, but that's all fine. Welcome to our beautiful space today. And let's just start also just with a moment just to settle into the space. If you have followed me a little bit longer, you know that one of my most important practices is to pause and to breathe. And I just want you to remember to take a moment to be present in our space today. Either you're joining me live or you're joining me via replay. So if you find it a little bit later through the day, you just add #replay. And it's beautiful just to welcome you in this beautiful space and to play together. Woohoo! So let's get into it, dear ones. This is The Entrepreneur. It is our 4-day mini workshop here on Facebook, and it's also streaming live right now to YouTube. So anybody who's joining us there as well, I welcome you too. So this workshop is for me all about celebrating my 15 years anniversary in South Africa, and I'm gifting this workshop to my awakened leadership community. And just remember that, just add some hearts and fires as we go through the teaching of the day. So I feel your presence. Let me feel your passion, because remember, entrepreneurship is a passionate journey. And I'm really excited to be with you here on day 2 and share more nuggets from my entrepreneurial journey and toolkit. And I'm inviting you into these 4 big teachings that you can see up here that have impacted my path significantly. And this workshop, it's all about living your dreams, unlocking and unleashing your potential, and having some of those deeply honest and courageous conversations with yourself about what's holding you back. And it's about going beyond yourself to recognize the important part that you play in the collective. It is about living on purpose and to take this big leap into your greatness. Welcome. Good morning. It's nice to see more beautiful people joining the space. Now, if you haven't listened to yesterday's teaching, just be here today and catch day 2 teaching, but also make sure that you catch up so that you can see how things start connect. And you can find the teachings under our guide section, which is guide number 1, The Entrepreneur. And I'm going to, good morning, Karen. Lovely that you're here. Now let's jump straight to our lucky draw. Okay, so we have these beautiful competitions going on. And I'm actually just going to put up that banner so you can see it next to me. And I actually made this one so you can see it while still connected to me here. So we have a lucky draw. So we are going to find out who is the workshop champion from day 1. So yesterday, you are in the lucky draw if you completed the daily task and uploaded it here in the group within the same day of the teaching. That means you would have commented on the post that has the tasks in our guides section, number 1. And I thank you for your commitment, because showing up for the space also means that you're showing up for you. Because remember that on the hero's journey, what catapults us into the special world where lots and lots of treasures are waiting to be found is our willingness to abandon the old and commit ourselves to this call to adventure. So let's see, I have the names here of the beautiful people who completed that task yesterday and who now in the competition to win the daily workshop champion. So that means you win a journey map session with me. Good morning, good morning. So I have a lucky winner here. Let's see who wins the prize. So that is Lynn. Lynn, wonderful. Yay, congratulations. Our workshop champion of day 1. And I'm going to just contact you later. I know you are going to tap in to the teaching a little bit later. Let's all celebrate Lynn for showing up to the workshop, for her courageous sharing yesterday. Yeah, congratulations, Lynn. How wonderful. So a little recap from yesterday's journey. I'm using the hero's journey as a format for our workshop space to unpack my own entrepreneurial journey and to inspire yours. It is my wish that it inspires you to break through some of the barriers that you are facing, and that you begin to be bolder and braver on your path of living into your dream. It is time to leap. We are going to work on our hero's journey map, and I'm just going to find the map here for us. So we take it up. So this is what we worked on yesterday. Now you can see that I've just changed the color a little bit, and you can see down here with the me and we, the higher purpose, I've just added choice. Now what I want to deepen today in our teaching is this notion of we. It has been such a significant part of my own path to awaken to we. Today I realize that there's no such thing as just me. There's also me, of course, and it is important to care deeply for my well-being. But one of those big rewards that I've harvested over these past 15 years has been to realize how my, your, and our well-being is connected, and that we all play an important role in it as shareholders. Now, in 2006, I wasn't really good at taking care of myself. So my old beliefs, they kept me locked in separateness. I was locked, in this space and comfortably doing my own thing. And I'm laughing a little bit because it's amazing, right? How we keep choosing those comfort zones, even if they're not serving us, So we still allow them here to drive the car of our life and to define our life. So I'm going to add some new maps today to our exploration, but I'm first just going to remind you of the map that I shared yesterday. So you'd see here in the middle, I shared some of my big mountains, and over here is my gang. And you have also, as part of your task for day 1, defined your gang and the mountains that you are climbing. So now what is really important to understand here is that there is a difference between my childhood mountain and all the mountains that I, kind of have encountered later on the path. Those are referred to as my wake-up calls, but I'm going to just get back into that a little bit later. Now, the map that we're going to work on today is this map here. So this, as you can see, is our workshop map today. And I'm going to take you through it one step at a time. So you can see here the hero's journey that's mapped up. I've just flattened it. And remember that this is an interpretation of it. It's a simplified version of the hero's journey for the purpose of this workshop. So you can see here, South Africa, 2006, big fire. So a big call to adventure. And remember, I mentioned in the workshop yesterday, in the teaching yesterday, how I arrived here, literally catapulted into my adventure. And every single day was one of learning to trust that the journey will guide me. And it did. Patterns, right? The patterns here, they think they know everything. And that's the problem and why we don't shift just by ourselves. We need these wake-up calls, these calls to adventure, to step out of the comfort zones, to leap and to achieve all of these wonderful things that our heart is actually desiring. I promise you, you cannot dream as big as it gets. That's how big it gets. So let me just take you through the map here, our workshop map today, our hero's journey. And you can see I've made it much more nuanced today with the different steps here of the journey. So the story that I'm inviting you into in today's teaching is one that is very close to my heart, as it shifted absolutely everything about how I show up. You see here my ordinary world in the corner. Outside, it looks just fine to everybody else. My perfect one is in charge, but the war was raging inside of me, So here, the survival frequency. Previously, I'd been very reluctant to answer any calls to adventure, but South Africa had big plans for me. Now, the thing is that if we don't leap ourselves, we sometimes get pushed, catapulted into it. That is when we're ready. And so I was. Now, the first 2 years, I couldn't really work because you see the fires down here. My business permit was in my ex's business, who left me after 3 weeks of arriving. And he had his own inner war. So bless him, it was actually what my journey called for. I was being redirected. And that's really been one of the big teachings, that I've learned in this journey of moving beyond myself. So I decided to show up. So here we have where we cross into the threshold on the journey. We're still sitting, I have the reluctance here. I have my gang. But actually, I decided to show up for the journey. I mean, I could have chosen to go back to Denmark, where I, grew up. But I chose to leap one day at a time. And there was a lot of uncertainty. It was scary at times. Money was little. And I knew nobody in South Africa. Well, I actually did know one person other than my ex. And I'm actually sending her lots of love today, Suleika. It was her birthday yesterday. She was a really important, special person on my journey that I think of fondly. Now, in this special world, this big unknown, I was still writing my first book, The Responsible Individual, when I went to a business breakfast in Constantia here in Cape Town in 2007. And I was seated at the same table as a social worker from Brandfleur Maximum Prison. He was there to speak about a group of inmates And I was presenting my book and writing, The Responsible Individual, and my leadership coaching. Now, is that a coincidence? Now, Jacobus, the social worker, invited me to come to visit them at the prison. Now, a big theme that I would like to weave into the teaching today is the signs. And you can see all the signs here on the map. And I'm talking about being redirected, right? The meaning that I'm learning to not rely solely on my mind, which is a limited affair, as we've noticed, but actually learning to follow the signs on my path. I was also in 2007 in the process of designing what today is our Circles of Change education for coaches. And I was looking for a community project for the coach students to practice in. And here it was. Oh, and another sign. Guess what? A month earlier, I had been booked to facilitate a workshop for business at Goudini Spa in Worcester, which is only 15 minutes from the prison. So everything aligned perfectly for me to accept this invitation. So I did. On my 1-year anniversary, November 1st, 2007, I drove to Worcester. It was actually the first time I left Cape Town after my arrival a year earlier. And I met the group of prisoners that would become the first generation of change agents to be educated in our Circles of Change Academy. Now, many years later, on this path of many trials and incredible success that I measure in the journeys of those awakening to themselves and their purpose, I feel so grateful because it has transformed me and the way I think about my entrepreneurship. Inside the prisons, I shaped the pillars of the coach education. So you can see in this big world, the unknown world to me, I was writing my book, I was shaping the coach education, and it really taught me to move beyond myself and that I could have achieved none of this on my own. Every student that showed up added something to me, and I added something to them. I added my puzzle piece to their journey. I deeply understand today, which is another big reward that I've come to harvest on the journey, that it is in service that I truly understand who I am. It is also here that I gain access to my inner cave. This one, you can see the little rucksack here that I've been carrying with me my entire life. So here, I was able to deal with my anger. I faced my fears daily, and I've allowed so much more of my sensitive being to take the lead and not like the gang up here, the control, the perfection, and the judge. So now this is another very important sign on my journey, this sensitive being, an inner guidance I was awakening to. And it was already happening a few months after my arrival in 2006, this special meeting with a quality in me that allowed me to feel others deeply, also their pain. And this gift has continued to evolve, and today I rely on it deeply in my writing, in my inspirational sharing, and all the guidance spaces. So this is really important. We all incredibly resourceful. And the moment we begin to strip the layers of our conditioning on this hero's journey, it reveals itself and it invites us to live true to it. And for each new wake-up call, this special gift that you carry becomes even more defined. I'm going to scroll back to 2012, 5 years into my prison processes, and a few months after my prison work had been published in an article in the newspaper Business Day, and by the way, I had graduated my garage experience, I was invited to co-create magic on the corporate playing field. 8 incredible years of deep immersion as I brought the responsible individual, my depth coaching methodology, to executives, to teams, and I was invited into the heart of the business. Now, again, for me, this is another sign that there is a balance between what I make happen and what I must let happen, because there's a much greater collaboration that is taking place. Now, this is really important because remember here, I'm stuck in comfort. I'm not leaping, right? But the moment I get onto this journey, I awaken to we, I begin to see. So let's look at our task today, dear ones. So I'm just going to call up this slide. So we're getting in touch. So in this unpacking of our workshop and this hero's journey, we are getting in touch with all these inner conversations that we're having, the lies that we keep telling ourselves. Due to our past, we've made up our mind about what we can and cannot do. So our decisions are mostly based on fear. So today, in our task, in the teaching today, we want to call the bluff on all those stories. We are going to reframe how we talk about those mountains and those wake-up calls. And we are going to open ourselves to listen to the signs that are trying to guide us. I mean, it's all happening right now. But because you are blindfolded, you can't actually see the magic that is trying to invite you to co-create. And this is what I often refer to as this grander collaboration. The more we awaken to we, the more we see, dear ones, both the puzzle piece, we are, our contribution, our value, as well as the whole. Yes, we are tiny compared to the whole. That teaches us humility. But we also, without it, there would be no whole, no wholeness. And that teaches us worthiness. So this is part of what we're going to really step into our task and our exercise today. I'm just going to call up the next slide here. So reframe your mountain. I would like you to look at the mountains that you've named yesterday and give them a different meaning. And what is important here, as I mentioned earlier, is to differentiate between the mountain created by your inner child, who might have felt unsafe and therefore needed protection, hence the gang you've hired, and the mountains you face today. There's a difference. Child mountain and all the mountains that come throughout the journey. So the mountain by my child, unsafe, needed protection, that story needs healing. The mountains you face today, they need reframing. This is an invitation to address the stories I tell myself and allow the change, to engage the change. And this invitation to move towards that inner cave, to face the inner battle so I can heal the child in me. The thing is, we can't actually fire the gang unless we address the child in us. Who is responsible for the first mountain ever created in our journey? And that's part of the depth work that we do in our boot camps, our Reclaim Your Power boot camps, and the depth coaching processes via our Circles of Change Academy. The next boot camp is just around the corner. Now, we won't resolve, of course, over the 4 days of this workshop, we won't resolve everything, but we will create a map that shows us exactly what needs to change. Knowing our starting point makes all the difference in taking that next step on your journey. A couple of insights. So you can see I also added, so you can see here the mindset that we need to shift in terms of reframing our mountain so we can cross the threshold and commit ourselves to the journey of change. And then we have the passport, and I want to talk a little bit about that for a moment. So I have realized that each mountain I have faced and conquered activates medicine in me. And it gives me license to journey with other people. Because I know trauma, I can hold spaces for healing trauma. Because I've been a student mom for 25 plus years, I've earned my stripes to walk next to other parents who also wants to practice conscious parenting. Because I've spent 25 plus years of deepening my entrepreneurship with lots and lots of trials, I also have earned my stripes to travel with other entrepreneurs who are hungry to live their dreams and answer their heart's deepest longing. And this doesn't mean that I have arrived. I'm still very much a student on the journey, learning. But I'm inviting you to walk next to me as a travel companion. Now, this is one of the big treasures that I've found in this special world of the unknown. When I'm standing at the doorstep of another call to adventure, I know it isn't going to be easy, but I also know that the rewards are many. So let's go to our next slides, dear ones, as we unpack the tasks. So notice the signs. And here I would like you to add a reflection on what this means. Have you noticed some bigger intervention taking place? And remember, I shared about, right, the social worker and me being at the right place at the right time, the workshop I had been booked for, which was not far from the prison, the coach education that, I was developing that year, and I was already looking for a community project. Now, all these things coming together. And I had no idea that the prison process would be such a big part of my journey. Today, I understand, that a part of the, that reward that I've gained on this path has been to look for the signs. I've learned to pay attention. So that's another of the tasks. And let's just get to this slide. And this is a slide, and this piece of being curious about your puzzle piece and the whole and awaken to we, it's just something I want you to live with, And the journey is not about having all the answers, but it's really about, being open to live into the questions, as Rilke reminds us. And I just want you to, and I'm going to upload this slide as well, of course, under the task for you to just live with that, and also just be reminded here of Rilke's beautiful quote. Do not strive to uncover answers. They cannot be given you because you have not been able to live them. And what matters is to live everything. Live the questions for now. Perhaps then you will gradually, without noticing it, live your way into the answer one distant day in the future. So those are tasks, dear ones. Those are the things we're going to workshop today. I'm just going to get myself here, so you can actually see me. And I'm going to upload all these tasks in the guides section. So that's guide number 1 in our Awakened Leadership group. In the comments, you're going to post your answer to today's tasks, and you know the drill by now. But for those who wasn't part of the workshop yesterday, if you want to get into the lucky draw for the workshop champion of the day, make sure to upload your task by the end of the day, by midnight, so that tomorrow you can get in to the lucky draw. And also remember, so the tasks here, the prize is here. that remember to invite your friends to join, your network to join. If you're the one who has invited the most people to our Awakened Leadership community over the duration of our workshop, you can become our best ambassador and win a half-day workshop, breakthrough workshop with me. And people can still, even if they join today or tomorrow, they can still catch up on the teachings. The teachings will be live in our workshop until the end of the week. And this is powerful stuff if you really engage the space. Our big prize, you could also become our community champion, and that is the one that supports the most. So it's commenting on all the posts, show your support and encouragement, help lift the space, encourage your fellow travelers on this journey. Remember, we do this together. And the big prize is to get onto our bootcamp, which starts next week, a 28-day Reclaim Your Power bootcamp. Go watch the testimonials. If you don't know about the bootcamp yet, watch the testimonials of those who have previously journeyed. It is a powerful space. If you want to take these teachings to the next level, you got to reserve a seat. And there's limited seats. We only have 11 seats, and there are quite a few taken. So make sure to grab yours. So, dear ones, thank you for tuning in today and for, participating in this beautiful workshop. And I can just feel that it's on fire, this space. And that's because you are here really to make it come alive with me. And I actually couldn't think of a better way than to celebrate my 15 years anniversary with all of you. So thank you for being here, and I'm sending you lots and lots of love for your day, and I'll see you in the workshop space, dear one. Let's put some fire into this space. Let's invite people into the teachings. Let's engage our tasks, and remember, upload them today to get into the lucky draw. Lots and lots of love. Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure. Thank you.